Hey everyone, Big Worm, Serge Satora, COO of Metafide, and with me, as always, we have CEO Frank Spicer and co-founder of Metafide. We have Matt Cross with his flowing locks today, ready to rock with his 80s rock band. And then we have our newest heartthrob for YouTube, Romy Crypto, one of your favorite moderators. Welcome, everybody.
Great to be here.
How's it going?
Thank
All right,
you.
so today we had a lot of great topics on the space today. Hey, a lot of great topics on the space today. The original title was Pump or Pullback, and Bit crossing 102, reaching 103 today. A lot of excitement in the market today, a lot of great topics, and a lot of questions from the communities. With that being said, let's get right to it. So, Frank, your thoughts on the space today?
I think it went great. I think we covered, essentially the market's at a crossroads where, Bitcoin is back over 100,000 USD. What that means in terms of the institutions coming in versus, the technical patterns seem to support a run up, but there is a negative funding rate at present, and how that ties in with the broader crypto markets where we netted out that it seems to be poised for consolidation where a few chains are going to have to win and some others are going to have to lose and wash out by the wayside because you can decentralize the technology because that's a plus, but fragmenting or decentralizing the attention is a net negative. And I think in order for the industry to get better and grow and progress, we need to get to a point where people are concentrating their efforts on the decentralization of the system. So it's instead of having more and more competing decentralized technologies, we need builders building with focus on the concept of decentralization. And that's pretty much where I net out on that.
Yeah, it was a huge topic, huge hot topic today. We spent a lot of time talking about that. I know, Matt, you had some great comments on the space as well. You want to add on to that at all?
Yeah, I was going to say we were talking about the top 100 tokens and how we feel about them in the space. Frank was asking me, do we see any life left in ETH? What's going to go on with it? I said, I think there'll always be life in ETH. There's a ton of liquidity there. We're going to stop eventually with launching all these L2s. Eventually, it will get consolidated and people will still use it for real world assets at the end of the day. And then the other thing we talked about is we have these top 100 tokens that have kind of just been existing here. They really haven't done anything in the last, 4 to 5 years. A lot of broken promises on the roadmap side of things. We do expect some fallout from that, but we expect that liquidity to go back into things like BTC and some of the new startup projects that we're seeing out there.
Great, thanks, Matt. And then finally, Romy, just turning to you, a lot of excitement from the community about the market, about the Surge game. You're one of our voices of the community. What are your thoughts in terms of what you're hearing from the community today and the space?
Yeah, 100%. I think from the community perspective, with the markets, everyone's still a little bit less sure this time around. BTC's pumping up. Alts have definitely had a nice couple of days, but everyone's still feeling a bit hesitant, which is really interesting, and they're questioning projects a bit more, I think. And we're seeing people digging in deeper, looking for greater utility. A lot of questions coming through also towards us around like, what is the utility behind the token? What does that look like in the longer term? And I think that's going to continue to be the trend of that sort of like the community-based conversation, what people are looking for in projects, which then obviously feeds right around into Surge as well. We've obviously had our hands on it. The team's been diving in there, feeding things back to the community as we're getting that sort of first touch of it, and they're, for lack of better words, frothing at the mouth to jump in there with jealousy. They're very, very eager to get involved and super excited about where things are going, and love Frank dropping a bit of alpha there on the space that next week that might be opening up for those people who are in the Discord, getting involved, being an active voice. That'll be who we're looking to get feedback from initially.
Yeah, we're going to rename Frank Giraffe Claws because he drops alpha every single week and just drops gifts reliably. So I think that does it for our recap this week. We got an exciting week coming up next. We're launching Surge to the community, so the community should stay tuned. as we're going to get more and more people in the game. And coming from experience, all of us playing it, you guys are going to be really excited to play this fun, exciting, and addicting game.